Hi there. Today we're going to talk about space and how to create the illusion of space on a two-dimensional surface. So first of all, let's just review space. In terms of art, space is the area around, above, and within an object. With consideration to drawings and paintings, our goal is to create the illusion of space. So, the ways we create the illusion of space. One way is, and this is a review, overlapping. Placement on the paper. Objects that are placed higher within the picture plane will appear further away. Smaller shapes will appear further away from the viewer. There's more detail in the closer objects, less detail in the further objects. And color and value. Objects that are further away are cooler in temperature, while objects that are closer are warmer. Objects that are further away are lighter in value, while objects that are closer are typically darker in value. This is what we're going to focus on in our exercise today. Objects that are further away are lighter in value, while objects that are closer are typically darker in value. Let's talk about what we refer to as aerial perspective. Aerial perspective is a way of creating the illusion of depth in your work of art, where the objects in the background are paler and the objects in the foreground are darker. So what we're going to need is a container of water. The pencil is a size 6 round paintbrush. Going to need some white paint and some black paint and probably an eraser. So let me just show you some examples of photographs that I took this afternoon out my back door that are great examples of atmospheric perspective. So you can see here how the trees in the foreground are dark and larger, and the trees in the background are paler and smaller. Also, there's very little color in these photographs. They almost look like black and white photographs, and that's because there's so little light because of the gloomy weather. Okay, so here we have our value scale. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the lighter values of the value scale for the furthest trees in the background. We're going to be doing a misty forest, just like the photographs I just showed you. So the trees in the furthest distance in the background are going to be the lightest values. The trees in the middle ground are going to be a medium value, and the trees in the foreground are going to be a darker value. All right, so I'm going to just pull up a reference for some bare tree silhouettes, and I'm going to use this as a reference to help guide me on the trees I'm going to use. I'll give you a variety of references that you can choose from. But for now, I think I'm going to just use this. So what I want to do first is I'm going to just draw my picture plane. Okay, and I'm going to draw my trees in the background first. So let's make a line for the background, middle ground, and foreground. And like we said, the background, the objects are higher on the picture plane, and in the foreground the objects are lower in the picture plane. So, oh, now just so you, I just bumped my computer on my iPad and saw this. Here's another example of a photographer's photograph of a misty forest. Well, let me find a few more. Okay, here's another one. So we're going for something like this. This is a really great example. Trees in the foreground are dark. The trees in the background are paler. This is what we want our image to look like when we're finished. This too. Okay. Go back to our references. So I'm just going to draw, I'll put my, okay, some trees, and the way a tree works is it has a trunk and it has some large branches, smaller branches come off from there. If you want your trees to look really creepy, go ahead and pick some of the creepier references. Okay, so I need to mix a very light tonal value here. I'm going to go back to my value scale. So I want to mix something maybe like this one. Alright? So that requires a lot of white and a little tiny bit of black. Well, it looks like my dog Luna is trying to stick her nose in here. Luna, what is it? Luna, Yeah. All right. It's hard to tell, but I think this might be a similar color to this one. Okay, so paint. Now you can think about using different pressure on your brush. If you press more, it will make a thicker line, and if you let up on the pressure, it will make a thinner line. So keep that in mind as you're painting. Okay, I'm doing it fast. You'll be doing it a lot slower. So look at the references of your tree. Don't assume that you know how a tree works. All right. I'm going to add a little more black. A little more white too, I guess. Alright, this looks pretty good, and this time I'm not even going to draw it but you can draw it if that makes you feel more comfortable. Finally, the darkest value. I'm going to go in and fill in some of these negative spaces. This negative space here with that same color. And I just really love to do this. I don't know why, but I just think it makes the painting look so cool. And as you learned with your sculptures, you can go in and modify any shapes that you want with your background color. So if I want this trunk to be a little thinner, I can go in and do that now. All right. Now I need to mix that color. Alright, so is that, okay, that looks like a good color for that. Sky in the background. I'm going to mix a very, very light tonal value. I don't want it really white because it's not broad daylight, but I also don't want it to be the same value as these trees back here. Okay, here we go. I do have a smaller brush. And let's see what happens here. Needs to have more white in it still. Okay, and there we have our creepy forest using atmospheric perspective.